Unemployed Australians are buying businesses. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I've got my stein of coffee that I'm slowly working through, and I thought we'd have a look at this article from Commercial Real Estate because it's discussing, well, more and more Australians who've been laid down or furloughed or unemployed are looking at buying businesses. Now, often we'll hear stories of people jumping in to a franchise type of business, buying it up. I remember reading about a person who bought a bakery and was surprised to realize they have to wake up at 4:30 every morning. Some people have got no idea the challenges and difficulties in actually being a small business owner. And one of the things with the franchise is you instantly buy a ready-made business to jump into. So in some ways that's great. But in other ways, you don't learn and make mistakes on the way as you're building a business from nothing. And I think a lot of people could potentially get burned if they make foolish decisions and don't understand what they're really getting into. I mean, a lot of those perks and luxuries and entitlements you come to depend on and expect and think you deserve as an employee tend to evaporate when you're a small business owner and a client just isn't paying late or something's happened. You've got to be a bit more flexible. And maybe some people will be humbled by this process. Let's have a look, guys. So more Australians are looking to buy a business as the pandemic crisis forces thousands out of work. Now, if thousands of people are out of work, economic activity is at an all-time low, people's behavior and spending habits have changed, do you think now would be the time to buy a business, or would you want to wait until times get a lot tougher? We'll have to see. Interest in buying a business is exceeding the number of businesses for sale, as buyers look to secure future employment amid the pandemic, experts believe. Wow. I mean, would now be the time to buy a business? I guess when there's a recession, that's when you can, maybe buy businesses that are struggling, jump in and then reinvigorate them. Or is it a lot of mum and dad people or lifetime employees that are finally taking the plunge, buying that cafe that's going to go broke? Link New South Wales Business Director Mark Jason says sales inquiries for businesses in the medical, transport, distribution and cleaning industries have been strong. Oh, that's good. Those are industries that you'd imagine would still be quite resilient. Our website, it's always about the website traffic. Inquiries and traffic have gone through the roof, he said. Every time unemployment creeps up, we see a spike in the buy yourself a job market. And that's not what you want as a business owner. You don't want to buy yourself a job. You want to buy yourself an investment that you can step away from. But some people prefer the flexibility. I enjoy having our own business, which we built from nothing, because it gives us the flexibility that you wouldn't have as an employee. All Biz Business Sales and Business Brokers co-founder Matthew Holland said the rise in buyer interest was significant, particularly from those who had been made redundant. So people looking at their redundancy and getting into a business. I mean, maybe a cleaning franchise. There's always going to be demand for that. Maybe logistics, there could be opportunities that could arise. However, there had been a lag in the number of businesses being put up for sale, as many owners were still receiving the job keeper subsidy and were not sure how to proceed in the months ahead. So there's still a level of uncertainty out there in the market where businesses are hoping things will return to normal or maybe a reduced scale. How many of these are zombie companies that are going to disappear the instant job keeper disappears? That's the question, and that's another consideration. We've had a complete turnaround. We've got buyers coming in from regions from all over, really. And we are just not seeing the listings coming through, Mr. Holland said. Businesses related to information technology, food, and supermarkets, or anything with a future in technology that was non-retail, had been in demand, he said. So everything non-retail. So now's the time maybe to set up that IT franchise. We've had the level of inquiry drop when the pandemic started, and it didn't take long to come back, and is really busy now, he said. Also, quite a number of people are strangely doing well out of this, and it's not all doom and gloom. with businesses in certain sectors doing quite well and are looking to expand. This includes gas services, transport and food services, especially in the central area of New South Wales, in resilient country towns as Dubbo. Mr. Jason said he had noticed strong interest within the hospitality sector, with potential buyers cautiously scoping out future viability. So people are looking for opportunities. They're looking for businesses they could buy that are perhaps under distress. Maybe owners have just had enough of everything and are just stepping back. People are shopping around. Fast food in the suburbs, as well as cafe restaurants in the city, inner city, and the east were also high on the risk. Now that surprises me. I guess cafe restaurants in the city. Maybe people are just looking at opportunities, looking at potential distressed businesses to get into, hoping that it'll return. So it really is that buy yourself a job market. The high-end businesses' sales, while they are still somewhat cautious, there's still a lot of people looking to deploy money whether it's a roll-up, people buying out their competition, or economies of scale. We are still seeing a fair amount of interest from high net worth individuals who are looking for a reasonable rate of return from deploying their money into an investment. So there's the other aspect. Looking at, well, think about it, guys. If we get, continued money printing, hyperinflation, global economic issues, people actually wanting to get a return from their money, looking at buying up an asset. And if there's longevity in that asset, that might make sense. MMJ Business and Sales Acquisition Manager Martin Losado said sales during the pandemic had been consistent, with a small drop in general inquiries during the period from the end of March and throughout April, with activity returning to normal in May. He said there had been no particular type of business which had been in higher demand than others. There have been some industries affected by the restrictions, while we've had to just pause those campaigns, like the beauty industry, while the whole business is in a closed down or limited trade, he said. We still had interest in those businesses as people moved to prepare for a life after the pandemic. There had been no market rise or fall in sales prices, and some transactions have had a delayed settlement period, particularly if bank funding was required, he said. For individuals thinking of buying a business in the current climate, Mr. Holland said it was vital to consider the future of the business. Well, that said, all of the previous accounting figures, they can all go out the window, particularly in retail. Consider it is something you want to be in long term, he said. The old rule applies. Don't go into something that you aren't going to love. I mean, that's the thing. It's work, isn't it? You're buying yourself a job. Check the numbers and don't be too hard on the sellers on the way out. At the end of the day, as long as the numbers are bouncing back, it's not about bargain hunting. That's what he says, but a lot of people are going to hunt for bargains. The sellers aren't dumping their businesses. Don't try and offer silly prices, as from what we've seen, people won't take them. So people aren't getting desperate now. We're not seeing those forced sales yet in businesses. That may not come until, remember, we're still at the beginning of this recession. So people are obviously expecting a return and a lift up, a bounce back in the economy. We're seeing the stock markets just going crazy. Even with everything that's happening over in the US, it's just, they're climbing up as well. Will it be a dead cat bounce? Will the market retract? Or will economic activity build up? Mr. Jason said to start with an objective list and remember there was no such thing as a perfect price. Finding a business which ticked as many of your objectives as possible was best, he said. He also recommended obtaining a good understanding of what available finance and money you had at hand, as well as what other financing was available depending on the business. It's important to feel out each individual because you don't know what their position or bottom line is until you ask the questions or put an offer forward, and understand that an offer is really the starting point, and there will be a lot of steps in the process, including the due diligence. So here we go, everyone. People jumping into buying businesses, inquiries up, preparing for a life after the economic lockdown. Is it too early when a recession has just been declared to be making these moves? And are people going to get burned? Or you have people scooping up opportunities and being sensible? I don't know. Probably takes balls to be jumping in now. Big cojones. And maybe not waiting a little bit longer. What do you all think? Thank you for watching. Please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. What business sector would you be looking at getting into? Maybe a, video hire rental. Or maybe IT or something that can service all the people that may be working from home. There's definitely going to be opportunities in a recession, everyone. It isn't all doom and gloom. There will be growth. There will be some businesses that disappear. There will be a thinning of the canopy, but new opportunities will come out. It's just about finding them, identifying them, and taking advantage of them. As always, thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. If you're a fan and want to support the channel, there are a few ways you can. Simply sharing the videos, commenting helps the channel grow. You can support us via joining the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can use our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay or Independent Reserve and Kucoin. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or you can support us via PayPal. Take care, have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next episode.